Hello, everyone. Welcome to my little K-pop podcast. I have been thinking of doing this for quite some time now, and I just feel like some things really need to be talked about, like in depth. And on the surface level, like as you can guess from the title of this podcast, which is like, well, why people love Mark Lee, I feel like it's something that's just seems so obvious, and yet we don't really discuss it in depth. And I would really like to do that today. I just want to give a little bit of background information on myself. So I've been like an N citizen since about 2020, and I was definitely like a COVID fan. Like I was kind of looking for new groups, and NCT really stood out to me. And even before I got into NCT in 2020, I had heard of the name Mark Lee. I knew he was a K-pop idol, and I also knew that he was in Canada. Maybe also because I'm from Canada, so like I just knew of the name. And he was already like a household name, and I knew that even non-fans really loved him as well. So when I got into NCT, I remember being like, oh, like this is the Mark that everyone's talking about. And actually, when I first got into NCT, first I got into Wavy, then I got into 127, and then Dream. So that was like the order that it went in, and NCT Wish hadn't debuted at that point. But yeah, that was kind of how I got into it, and I used to watch a lot of Super M videos back during that time, and NCTU videos as well before I got into the official like NCT units. So I have definitely been a fan for a long time, and I have consumed, I would say, most content like music, interviews, concert videos, like things like that. So I just really wanted to get into it because Mark is my bias, and I just know so many people adore this man, and I just really want to get into why people do. And I don't know, I just love talking about Mark. It's like genuinely one of my favorite things, so I just think it's needed. I will say there is a difference between Mark now and then maybe like, I'm not sure what year, maybe like 2021-ish, 2022, maybe even 2023, I don't know. But you can definitely see there's a difference in like his energy, the way he carries himself, his confidence, and there's just like a maturity difference. So to start off this podcast, I'm definitely gonna start off with talking about like the younger version of him, which is the version that I saw when I was becoming a stan. And yeah, I don't know. I just want to say like this, like especially seeing old videos of Mark, but even Mark now, of course. Like truly, I do not think there is a mean bone in this man's body. Like he is just so positive and uplifting and light. And I think that's what just makes him so captivating. And like as human beings, we are so attracted to that positivity because I feel like it can just be so difficult to be positive and have that energy, especially when you know how demanding his job can be, and he has to give so much of himself for this career. And yet, don't get me wrong, I'm sure behind the scenes obviously there's so much that we don't see, and there's a lot he probably just doesn't express his like more negative emotions in front of the fans or like publicly, but we just see the positive, and like we as human beings are just like so attracted to it. And that was definitely one of the things that like caught my attention at first, and it's definitely the thing that catches most people's attention when they're getting into NCT and like getting into Mark. And obviously we know that he is so incredibly talented. Like not only does he write his own lyrics, but like on stage, like we've seen it, like he has not only like singing vocals, but he's such an incredible rapper as well. Like he has a really unique flow and voice, and it's super distinct. Like I really don't think there's any other rapper in K-pop that sounds like him, and you can just so easily pick his voice out or like pick his verses out. um and I just think it's so interesting because he has a huge duality, because like on stage he's like such a professional, amazing performer, and he can seem really cool and like suave, but then off stage, as we know, he can be so awkward, but like so humble, right? And I think that's another thing that makes people like gravitate towards him so much, because you can really admire the talent and the work that he's putting in to his craft, but then at the same time you would kind of expect him, like, okay, if someone is this talented, like, they have to have a little bit of an ego, right? Or like something. But he really is not like that. And he just comes off as just so humble, and he's always like, I can improve and I can do better. Um, and his little like awkward mannerisms, or like if he seems socially awkward, it just makes him more endearing. And I think you can also see it in the way that the people around him also interact with him. Like, if you look at like 127 members, they absolutely gravitate towards Mark. Like, so does absolutely everyone in NCT. But I feel like I really see it in 127, especially because most of the members are older than him. So I really, really find it so fascinating how these older boys just gravitate towards Mark and his energy so much. And they always talk about his debut days. They always say that he worked the hardest, and he would always win the award while they were trainees for like the hardest working or whatever per month. And I just think that's so interesting to have that like tenacity and to have that determination when you're so young. And most people at that age don't know what they want to do, and they would not want to dedicate so much of themselves if they're not really sure what they love and what they want to do for the rest of their lives. So I don't know, I just find that so fascinating, and I really wonder if that's something like just innate, or if it's something that he learned from his environment growing up. I don't know. Someone should definitely ask him that question. But yeah, he just seems so personable. And you know what it is? He really is like the guy next door. Like, he seems like someone who would just be your friend, right? Because he's just like so grounded and so humble and just so casual. Like, he really feels like someone you would meet in your classroom. You would meet on your campus, or like just someone who's so easily approachable. Like, genuinely just guy next door is like the best way I know how to describe it. And I think, I don't know, it just really contributes to his likability. And that, okay, I was focusing more a little bit on like the past Mark Lee. I want to talk more about the recent Mark Lee. Everything I said is still true, but I will say Mark these days is definitely not as awkward. I think he's a lot more confident and steady in his words. And like, of course, he's still like positive and he's still energetic, but I think he's just matured. And so we see this energy in a bit more of like a calm way, compared to like videos maybe a bit closer to their debut. But even I would say like around 2020ish, like he's still really, really, or 2019, like he really, really had that like buzzy kind of energetic vibe to him. But yeah, I would say these days it's just a bit more calm. And again, still, even though he's like more calm, mature, grown up, he's still so freaking kind. Like, he's so kind, and like there's just not a mean bone in his body. I'm sure we've all seen some cringe fan calls where sometimes fans say, quote unquote fans, I'm not sure if I really would call them fans if they say not so nice things. Um, but yeah, I remember seeing this one fan call, and like apparently the fan call, it got like delayed or something, or rescheduled for some reason, completely out of Mark's control. It wasn't his fault, and it's also he's never gonna plan when the reschedule is, right? Obviously, the SM entertainment team is determining all of that information. And so I remember he had like this rescheduled fan call with the fan, and this fan is like complaining and is like, "Oh, I'm at the airport. Like, this is horrible timing, blah, blah, blah. Like, this really sucks." And you can just see him kind of deflate, and he apologizes. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I know this is so inconvenient. Like, it really sucks that it has to be this way." And this fan just kind of like keeps going, and it's like, dude, at this point, like, what do you want him to say? Like, it's literally not his fault. And it's like, you might as well just talk to him about other things. Like, why did you apply for the fan call in the first place? Like, I'm sure there's something else you wanted to tell him. So I don't know. Like, when I see things like that, it's just so like heartbreaking, because you know he's so nice that he's never gonna call it out. Like, he's never gonna be like, hey, like, I don't think I actually deserve to be talked to like this, or it's not really my fault. Like, he's never like that. He never deflects. And it's like so heartbreaking to me, because I'm like, he's so nice, and it really sucks to see some fans like take advantage of that. But that's just like the kind of person that he is. And I I do remember this one other time actually that he got kind of bothered. I remember the time, like my Twitter timeline was really like shocked when this happened. But this was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And long story short, SM released a statement saying that SM was going to be pursuing legal action against this person who apparently had said malicious things about him online. And unfortunately, as like a public figure, this just sucks. Like you're always going to get hate to some extent. But and I guess you have to brush most of it off. But it was just so surprising because I remember the statement. I can't find it, but I remember maybe it was like Kwangya, the 119 account or something. But they had said that Mark was like personally really hurt by like what this person has said, and so they were pursuing legal action. And I just remember being so shocked, and everyone else was so shocked because we were like, what could this person have said that was so hurtful to make someone just so incredibly kind like Mark to be like, I am going out of my way to pursue legal action against this person. Um, and later on, I think SM released another statement saying that they had worked it out because I think the person who made the rude comments in the first place had apologized. And he apologized. They apologized to Mark, and then Mark decided to just drop the lawsuit and was like, okay, whatever, like it's fine. So that's like one of the few moments I remember Mark ever openly kind of expressing, I guess, that he was kind of bothered by something going on. And another time was during the NCT Dreamscape comeback, and all of Dream was getting hate from Korean fans because they were not in Korea during their comeback. I think they were on tour, and I think they were in Europe, which again, obviously, is not their fault, and it's like a team of people who determined that. Like, it wasn't their fault at all. So to see all of that hate was like really sad. And I think like each member basically said sorry to the fans, and they're like, "Oh, we'll talk to our team and make sure this doesn't happen again. Like this really sucks." And I remember Mark also wrote a post, and I think he apologized, but I do know in the post he also mentioned like how hard he works, and like everyone knows how hard he works, and he never complains. So it really sucks to see that reaction from the fans. And honestly, I would be really upset too. Like, imagine you spent all of that time recording music, memorizing lyrics, memorizing the choreo, just to have such a bad reaction from fans just because you were not physically in the country when the album drops. Like, that just really sucks. So I like those are the only two instances I can think of where Mark has genuinely shown like discontent. But other than that, like he just really, really doesn't show that side of himself. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the glass of his reputation doesn't shatter. You know what I mean? And one thing I do want to talk about in relation to all of this is the McDonald's collaboration that Mark had. So I'm pro-Palestinian. I hope anyone listening to this is also pro-Palestinian. But I will say the McDonald's collaboration, it didn't bother me because SM Entertainment clearly has a deal with McDonald's because a lot of their artists, like Key from SHINee, aespa, NCT Wish, Doyoung, they have all had collaborations, and probably some more artists too from their company. They've all had collaborations with McDonald's. So to me, it's very clear. Like they obviously have some sort of partnership with McDonald's in Korea. And I think people overestimate the amount of control these artists have over their collaborations. Like at the end of the day, Mark and his name is owned by SM Entertainment. So if they see this like collaboration that could potentially make them a lot of money, they are going to do it. Even if Mark personally voices his opinion, he's like, hey, I don't think we should be doing this. I don't think this is the right climate to be doing this. He has a whole team of people who are going to make that decision, especially from the company. And the company perspective, like, let's be honest, money talks. They just want to make a profit. They just want to make money. And at the end of the day, also, they want to satisfy the Korean fans more than anyone else. So it's really, really not surprising at all that like they decided to go through with this collaboration. And obviously, like if you're on Twitter, you would have seen the backlash that Mark got, and people were like so disappointed, and they were like, "Oh my God, like this doesn't help Palestine at all because of the McDonald's boycott." But that is something that personally, like I am pro-Palestinian, but I will say that really didn't change my opinion about Mark because I don't see that as a personal decision that he had to make. And I also don't think that hating on him for that helps anything in Palestine. Like, to me, like, straight up, I think it's just very performative for a bunch of people to be like, well, I'm gonna unstand, or I'm gonna, like, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm like, I would completely understand if he actually did something that really, really showed, like, he is, like, pro Israel or something. But that has never occurred, and that's never happened. And he has given me no reason to not give the benefit of the doubt. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I really wish it didn't play out this way, and I wish it could have ended differently. And I wish SM would have made a different decision, but I really don't put that onto Mark. So I will say, like, before the McDonald's collaboration, I really don't think anything had ever shattered anyone's opinion of Mark. And I remember seeing so many tweets, and it's like, what's the one K-pop idol that, like, no one hates? And, like, so many people would be like, oh, it has to be Mark Lee. Like, I'm not even an N citizen, but, like, I just think Mark Lee is someone I've, like, never really seen hate on, or, like, no one actually has the right to hate on this guy, because, like, he just minds his business. He's so nice to everyone. He's so kind, and he's talented. And I remember the McDonald's collaboration was the first time I ever really saw hate on Mark. So yeah, that could, honestly, talking about the McDonald's collaboration could be like a whole other episode in itself. But I would be very interested to hear if anyone has any different opinions about it. Obviously, I am just one person, so I would be very curious to know what, like, other people think about that. Um, and yeah, I will say another thing that I do think, this is an issue with the K-pop industry as a whole, but this is also related to Mark. Um, of course, with like the fan signs, and especially the type of fan signs that SM does, which is like a lot of video calls, but also a lot of fan signs specifically in China, and they go there over and over and over again, milking these dream comebacks, all for these fan signs. Um, Mark has a lot of girlfriend stands. He does. Like, we all know it. He has a lot of girlfriend stands. And if you don't know what a girlfriend stand is, it's basically fans who, like, low key think they're kind of in a parasocial relationship with Mark. Like, they genuinely think they have a shot with Mark, or, like, the way they talk to him in fan calls, it's like, oh, like, Mark in your head is already your boyfriend, right? Like, the way they talk, like, they're already so close, or, like, the way they, like, quote unquote, like, flirt with him. And, like, some of the fans are playful about it, but then some are, like, straight up just more serious, and it's, like, a little bit cringe. But the thing is, like, Mark will usually give in to the fan service. I've never seen him outright say, like, no, or kind of deny the parasocialness. I'm sure there's been, like, a few instances where people can tell, like, okay, due to, like, his expression, like, he's obviously not into this, like, free this man. But yeah, like, he's so nice. He's never gonna straight up just be like, no. Whereas I feel like other members of NCT, like Chunla, like, I know Chunla has straight up said, like, do not wait for us. Like, we are not gonna date. Like, please live your life, and blah blah blah. But like Mark is not someone who would say that, like, unprovoked. So I just think that's, like, another interesting duality. And this is an issue with the K-pop industry in general. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, I think the parasocial relationships are everyone's fault, and I think I definitely will do another episode on this. But I think it's the company's fault, I think it's the fans' fault, and I also think it's the idol's fault. I think legitimately everyone is at fault in this situation. But yeah, I just feel like people should not be taking advantage of Mark's kindness. Like, please leave this man alone. And I really, really do fear for the day where, like, it's gonna be revealed that, like, he's in a relationship, or he was in a relationship. And I'm really not ready to see the amount of hate he's going to get, because I know he will get a lot. And I know for a lot of fans, like, that glass reputation is going to be broken. It's going to be shattered to the ground. And so many, like, I think it's going to be revealed how many fans were actually in it for the parasocial relationship versus his actual talent. And I just hope to God, like, he does not see the hate that is inevitably going to come when that information releases. Like, even if he's 30 years old, which, now that I'm thinking about it, is not that far from now. It's like, what, 4 years from now? Like, even if he's like 30 and it's revealed he's in a relationship, like, I'm just really scared for what that's gonna look like for him. But anyways, I hope he is. At the end of the day, I don't care what his relationship status is. I just hope he's, like, happy, healthy, living his best life. But yeah, anyways, after listening to this little podcast. I hope it's like easy to understand why Mark is just so easy to love, why he is so loved by everyone around him. Like, so many people in the industry speak so highly of him, his own members speak so highly of him. Whenever he talks about his family, like his parents, like you can kind of see like he was raised with so much love and support as well. So it kind of makes sense why he is the way that he is. Um, and yeah, I love being a fan of Mark. Like, he really gives the fans a lot, like a lot of content. And obviously, like, he just seems like a very, very nice person. I have had the privilege of going to a fan sign myself. And my interactions with Mark have always been very positive. He's always like, I don't know, you never know really what mood they could be in for real. Like, I don't know how his day went, I don't know what's going on in his life, but whenever I've met him, he has always been so kind, always has a smile on his face. And yeah, I don't know, it's like a good testament to who he is. And this goes for all the Dream members because they are all very, very sweet. But yeah, anyways, if anyone has anything to add on or say, please comment because I would be just really curious to see what people have to say about the situation or why different people became a fan, why different people support him, and why different people are just so drawn to him. And obviously, this is just my perspective, and I will continue to adore Mark. And this was really fun. I really hope I can upload some more episodes soon. I really have a lot to say about like the K-pop industry, fan signs, fan sites, and just different situations. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Please like it if you did, share it if you did, and comment down below, subscribe. Thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Bye!